This story was adapted from the Three Little Javelinas by Susan Lowell. Once upon a time, far out in the desert, there were three little javelinas. Javelinas are a hairy and wild kind of pig found in the southwest. One day, the three little javelinas left home on a great adventure. Together they wandered in the desert in a forest of saguaro cacti. Shortly after they set out, they got so excited about what they were seeing and smelling that they became separated from each other. The first little javelina moseyed along, not paying any attention, and he got caught up in a dust storm. Finally, the dust storm blew away and left him dizzy and surrounded by tumbleweeds. He said, "I'll use them to build a house." And so he did. Along trotted Wile E. Coyote. He could move through the desert almost silently, and he was almost invisible. He smelled the little javelina and laughed at the tumbleweed house. "Yum! Dinner!" Wile E. Coyote was tired of his mouse and rabbit diet. Sweetly he said, little pig, let me come in." "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin," squealed the first little javelina. "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said Wile E. Coyote. He huffed and he puffed and he blew the little tumbleweed house away. But the little javelina got away and ran to find his brother and sister. Wile E. Coyote was sneaky, though, and he followed the little pig. The second little javelina was wandering around the saguaro cacti, but soon he was too hot from being out in the sun. He found a Native American woman who was collecting sticks from the inside of a dead saguaro. She was going to use the saguaro ribs to knock down delicious saguaro fruit. The second little javelina said, "I'd like to build a house. Please may I have some of your sticks?" She gave him enough sticks to build a really nice house. His brother found him, and they both relaxed in the shade. Wile E. Coyote had tracked them and sneaked up on the stick house. He made his voice sound just like a javelina. Little pigs, let me come in," he said. The second little javelina said, No, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." "Oh, forget it," thought Wile E. Coyote. "I don't want to eat all that hair anyway." Just then his stomach growled, and he remembered how hungry he was. So he sort of smiled, showed his sharp teeth, and said, "I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." So he huffed and he puffed, and all the saguaro sticks came tumbling down. Little did Wile E. Coyote know, but the two little javelinas escaped out the back door into the desert. Still hungry, he followed them. He had a few tricks he could try. Meanwhile, the third little javelina, their sister, wandered through beautiful palo verde trees. She came upon a man who had just made adobe bricks from straw mixed with mud. The new bricks were baking in the sun. She thought, I could make a house out of those bricks. She asked the man, "Please may I have a few bricks to build a house, señor?" "Sí," answered the brickmaker. That's yes in Spanish. So the third little javelina built herself a muy bonita adobe house. Her brothers found her, and they moved in too. Little did they know that Wile E. Coyote had secretly followed them. Smarter this time, Wile E. Coyote pretended to be old and weak. Little pigs, let me come in," he said in a feeble voice. Well, the pigs saw right through that. "No, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin," replied the third little javelina. "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in," said Wile E. Coyote. He threw his head back at the sheer joy of the wild pig dinner he was about to have. "Just try it," said the third little javelina. Wiley huffed and puffed, but the muy bonita adobe house didn't move at all. The javelinas peeked out of the window. They spotted him climbing onto the roof. Wile E. Coyote had magically made himself really skinny. "The stovepipe!" gasped the third little javelina. She lit a fire quick as she could. Wiley was thinking, "I'll have a real feast tonight. A little chili sauce on top, and those pigs will be delish." Whoosh! Sizzles! The three little javelinas heard a strange noise. Not a bark, not a cackle, but more like a scream. On fire, Wile E. Coyote was running away. The three little javelinas lived happily ever after in the muy bonita adobe house, and if you ever hear a mournful coyote howling in the distance, you'll know why.